Greetings YouTubers, AtariLeaf here with a video that I've been wanting to make for a while, just an ad hoc video. Excuse me, on the OUYA. You'll have to pardon me, I'm still getting over a bad cold, a really bad cold. So my voice is not going to be the greatest. OUYA, yes. Got it about a month or so ago. I will say that there are two camps I've noticed when it comes to the OUYA. Those who love it and those who hate it. There doesn't seem to be much of an in-between. Those who love it, people like me, bought it strictly for the emulation, or at least 90% for the emulation. And I have played some of the Android games, and some are very good. I've actually bought a couple. And then there's those who hate it, who bought it just for the Android games, hoping there'd be a lot of exclusives. And that just really hasn't come to fruition. There's not a lot of Android games. There is a lot of shovelware. I will say that. There's a lot of shovelware on the OUYA. And another thing I should mention is, in case you're planning on buying one, you need a credit card up front to sign up for your account, because that's how you pay for the in-app purchases. So, here's the latest build. This is called Chupacabra. Actually just came out this past week. So here's your main screen. You can see kind of the recommended or featured games that they have for the Android, and you can scroll through all of those. I've tried some of them. A couple of them I bought. Actually, I've tried Cosmic Revenge there. I bought Retro Racing yesterday because it was 50% off, so it was only like $2.50. And it's actually a really good game, kind of like Super Sprint. But I'll show you a couple of the Android games too. So you've got your Play and Discover are what you're going to use most. Play is what you've already got on your system. And again, this is an 8 gig model. You can use a flash drive, external hard drive for extra storage. In fact, I have all my ROMs and emulators on the flash drive. They're not actually on the OUYA. Discover is the store. So it shows you the most popular games. Raiden Legacy, Clark is a puzzle game. That Frog game, I don't understand the popularity of that one, frankly. New releases, things that just came out. Then you got all your genres. Arcade, retro, when you get to the end, is where you're going to find all your emulation stuff. So you can go through here. Now, I should mention too, OUYA's recently changed their position on developers having to include demos. That's not the case anymore. They still may, and probably it's in their best interest to do it, but they're not forced to make demos anymore. But again, every game I've tried so far has had a demo, so you can try before you buy. Frankly, I wouldn't buy a game that I couldn't try first. So we'll go back, and then Play is what I have on my OUYA. And they've recently changed it and separated things. You can see the games you've purchased. I've only purchased 2, and I'll show you those later. Recent downloads, and an A to Z, basically an alphabetical of everything that you've got on here. So you can see I have a mixture of emulators and games. Fester Mud is kind of a throwback to the old LucasArts style of adventure games, so I wanted to try that one. Haven't really tried it yet. But you've got a few emulators. There's the 2600 emulator. So I'll quickly just go through some of the emulators. I don't have them all, and I only have ROMs for games that I own, so I can't show you everything. And all the emulators, I should say, I've had no problems with. They all run good. So you have a list of all your games on here. I'm playing a lot of Beam Rider lately. And also their save state. So on a game like this where I've already played it, I can either continue or restart the game from the beginning. And as you can see, there's Beam Rider. Maybe I should turn this down a bit. But all the games run really good. I mean, the 2600 is not really that hard to emulate. And I'll get into the controller a little bit too. The controller works fine for a game like this. No problems, lots of fun. And you can go through, here's Bump and Jump. Again, I was playing that already. Everything works great. Now, where you will have a problem is a game like my favorite, Circus Atari. Excuse me, there's the cold again. Now, when it comes to paddle games, again, you're going to be frustrated with the controller. Any kind of digital controller, you're not going to get that precise movement. And I don't know whether you can use a Stella adapter or a Stella adapter-like device, because the Stella adapter apparently is not available anymore, with paddles. But as it is, you will find paddle games. Arkanoid on the NES is another example of that too. You'll be frustrated playing with it. So that's the Atari 2600 one. Oops. Exit. And maybe I should show you some of the, you can change the switches for the console. These are all your different options. Scan for Wiimotes, so you can use a Wiimote with some of these games. I haven't tried it. Also, you can use a PS3 controller. Again, I haven't tried that either. But apparently that works very good too. And there are other controllers I think you can use as well. C64, I don't have any ROMs loaded for it yet, so I can't really show you that. That's just your file manager. Here's a GBA. So I've got a few GBA games on there. And again, this plays really well. Let's try Iridian 2, which I really like. And we'll just continue since I'm already in the game. But again, plays really good. Now you're upscaling a GBA game to 1080p, so it's going to look a little jaggy, but it plays really smooth. And if I wasn't doing this video, I'd be sitting a lot farther back on my couch. It'd be a lot easier to see. But again, it plays really well. And this is a fantastic game, by the way. Fantastic game. Great shooter for the GBA. Probably the best one. And we've got, let's see, what else have we got? Crash Nitro Kart. I don't have all of my ROMs again on here, so I'll just continue. Oh, okay, that's Crash Nitro Kart. Really sorry about this, I got my cold. GBC, that's your Game Boy Color, which also does your original Game Boy games too. So you've got, for example, let's do Burger Time Deluxe. Oh, and I just got killed one. So, yeah. Another great Burger Time game, by the way. I always find Burger Time games hard. I don't know why. So I'm just going to show you some of these really quick. You don't need to see the whole thing, but you just want to get an idea of how good the game is. See, I quit my games a lot when I die. Another excellent port of Mr. Do, by the way. So again, these emulators work fantastic. And this is really convenient too, to have my entire collection, well, at least 70% of my collection on the OUYA to play. There are currently no emulators, at least in the Discover store, for say the Atari 7800, the Atari 8-bit computers, color computer, Tandy color computer obviously doesn't have one right now. You can side load emulators too, which means you just use the USB key to load them instead of going through the Discover store and do it that way. I haven't tried that yet to see if any of that works. MD, EMU is your Mega Drive or Genesis emulator. Again, works really good, no problems with it. Oops. Oh, shit. That's what happens when I continue. Which button is jumping in? Okay. And I've done a review on Alien 3 before, if you want to look that up. It was one of the most entertaining reviews I've done. So that works really good. Also, this one does Sega Master System. The Mega Drive emulator also does Master System games too, so you don't have to worry about a separate one for there. Here's Astro Warrior, great shmup for the system. Again, works really good, no problems, everything looks as it should. I'm assuming the colors are right, I don't know. I don't remember this game. I have it, but I don't remember playing it too much, so. I know some colors on some of these emulators can be a little messed up depending on the game, but so you'll have to tell me whether this looks right or not. Okay, so that's the Mega Drive, the Genesis. Excuse me. What else have we got on here? You can skip ahead if you want. That's the N64, Mupen 64 plus AE. Don't have any ROMs for it yet. I have only Robotron 64. I did try it previously, and I think I unloaded the ROM, but just to give you an idea, it ran great. Robotron looked beautiful, really nice, sharp, and crisp. This one here, MSX, is ColecoVision. Again, I haven't tried it yet. And there's a certain way, there's a certain way you have to use it because the ColecoVision has a keypad. And someone, I can't remember his name, but I'll find a link in the description to the person who does the, he does a whole bunch of really good in-depth reviews on the emulators for the OUYA. I think it's Lon Seidman. I think that's his name. But he does a really good video on the ColecoVision emulator to get it running properly. NES. Hey, that's probably the one everybody wants to see. NES. How does the NES work? Works great. And again, to talk about the controller a little bit, it's not the greatest controller, but I think it works just fine for what it does. I've not had any problems with it. There's been rumors of lag, but I haven't had any lag issues. And I think a lot of the issues with the lag have come from people who have the original Kickstarter versions. So there were some problems with that. But I haven't noticed any lag problems. And again, as I said, you can use a PS3 controller. So if this doesn't float your boat, you do have options available to you. But it works fantastic. No problems at all. Defender 2, another game that I really like. I did a review on this one too. Well, that's because I really enjoy the game. And again, no lag, and I suck. But it works really well. So, well, we won't bother. Again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through the emulators. Just to give you an idea, I keep hitting the wrong button here, of how well everything does work. What else have we got here? NES. There's a PC Engine, TurboGrafx 16. One of my favorite games. Blazing Lasers. First game I ever completed. And I love this game. Probably my favorite shmup of all time. And again, it looks beautiful. All these games look really, really nice in 1080p on a big screen TV. And that's part of the appeal of a system like this, is to be able to play these games while leaving your collection. Like for me, I have not a huge collection, but it's a substantial collection. It's in the other room. I don't want to have to drag carts and machines out to the big screen TV, and they don't look right on a big screen TV anyway, especially something like the Atari. So this is a fantastic way of playing your games on a big screen TV without dragging your collection into the room. Everything is available at the touch of a button. Blazing Lasers, fantastic, fantastic game. TurboGrafx 16 emulator. And the final one I'll show you, again, I apologize for this cold, it's knocking me for a loop. The SNES. Oh, I don't have it all set up. Oh, there it is. There's SNES. Again, I don't have all my ROMs on here. I just put a few. Space Megaforce. I was showing you Blazing Lasers. Space Megaforce is kind of the spiritual sequel, Toho game, to Blazing Lasers. And if you play this game, the sound effects and everything are very recognizable from Blazing Lasers too. The power-ups, everything about it. This is a really good game. Highly recommend it. It's a little pricey, this one. I don't know. I think you can get it somewhere around $60 to $80 for a loose cart. It's one of the rarer ones, but it's one of the great shmups on the system. And there's no slowdown either. Because there's a lot of games that have slowdown on the SNES. This is not one of them. It works really, really well. Very fun game. And again, having the save states, for a guy like me who's not really that good at Twitch games anymore, like I used to be, having save states is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So there you have Space Megaforce. And just to show you quickly too, FX chip games run well too. If you were worried about FX chip games like Star Fox, no problems here either. Yeah, come on, let's go. Let's go. That'll be a novice. A lot of people don't like this game, but I like it. I quite like it a lot, actually. And again, I don't think any of these emulators are perfect. You might have noticed a little flashing on there before. They're not perfect, so you might be some things. But that's the state of the emulation. That's not the OUYA. So again, FX chip games work pretty good. I should get Star Fox anyway, because it's a fun game. Okay. Now, that's the emulators that I've got. Again, there's more. There's Neo Geos on there. MAME, of course. I haven't tried the MAME. I've only loaded systems and ROMs that I do own. I'm just quirky that way. Now let's take a look at some of the Android games. This one I've just bought the trial for. And if you've ever played Geometry Wars, it's something like that. Yeah, I'm not going to buy it now. Maybe later. But it plays really good. It's a twin-stick shooter in the style of Robotron, which is one of the reasons I like it. So there are some really good, you know, depending on your taste. There's, oh, I gotta check what I want. Okay. So there are games, depending on your taste, there's pretty much for everybody's tastes on here. And this is just the first level, so it kind of moves a little slow, but works really well. Very fun game, Ballistics. No. Gotta go back to the play menu. That's one thing I don't like, is having to do that, but it's not a big deal. I'll show you one that I've been loving. This one I bought, Ice Rage. I love this. I'm a hockey fan. Everybody knows that. It's been following my channel. Ice Rage is like Hat Trick, the arcade game Hat Trick. And I have the Atari 7800 version, and it sucks. Very simple, easy to play. And I just got scored against right off the bat. I have a kitten for a goalie. And you can knock him down. It's very arcadey, very fun. I highly recommend this game for $3. This was a no-brainer for me. This is a lot of fun. And there's all kinds of characters. And it's like a 2-minute game, just like the regular. Overtime if necessary. And I love hitting people. And I got scored out again. I play a lot better when I'm not doing videos. Haha. Ice Rage. Really good game. Alright, what else have I got on here? Oh, I should mention XBMC. The OUYA is great for the Xbox Media Center. Been watching a lot of movies with it, old TV shows. Works great on here. So if you like XBMC in your house, the OUYA is another great option for that. You can get XBMC on pretty much anything, including your toothbrush nowadays. Obliteroids. This one was absolutely free. It didn't cost anything. Again, it's just your standard Asteroids game, but it was free, and it actually plays pretty good. It's a pretty good game. I'm trying to remember what buttons do what. But yeah, this is a really, it's very much like the arcade game. And again, because I'm doing a video, I suck at it. I'll show you one more really quick. Then I'll just kind of finish the video. This one is like Super Hang-On, pretty good too. But I'll show you this one. I bought this one yesterday, Retro Racing, kind of like Super Sprint. Play next race, yeah. I'll just pick a car quickly. I'm the bottom guy in the red. Yeah, very much like Super Sprint. There's all kinds of power-ups. Plays really smooth. Controls good. Really like Retro Racing. This and Ice Rage, to me, were good purchases. And I suck at this game. It's okay to like games that you suck at, right? I just got to practice more. I just got it yesterday, so I haven't spent too much time with it, but I tried the demo, really enjoy this one. So there are Android games on there that I do like. So it's not just the emulation. There's good Android games, XBMC, good emulation, really good system. Don't ask me that again. They ask you to rate the games. Sometimes I do. So, final thoughts. Again, as I think I mentioned in the beginning, there's two camps for the Ouya, and the people that love it are the people that got it mostly for emulation. If you're doing it for emulation, I can recommend it. It's a great system for emulation. If you're buying it more for the Android games themselves, you might be disappointed that there's not a lot of exclusives. You can get these games on your tablet, on your phone, any other Android device. But a lot of these do play better with controllers. And I know you could. The battery on my laptop died, so it just cut out there. Sorry about that. So it was just my finishing thoughts was all I was doing at this point. Yes, you can play these games, Android games or emulation. You can play them on other devices. But if you want the convenience of having a little Rubik's Cube size device underneath your TV, HDMI, ready to go, being able to switch back and forth between all your emulators, for me, this is a device of convenience. That's important to me. To be able to have something sitting there waiting for me to go to either play Android games, play emulators, use XBMC. This is a fantastic little device for its price point. But again, if you're buying it just for the Android games, and that's it mostly, you might be disappointed in this. It might not be worth the money for you. But if you're going to use it for other things like emulators and XBMC, I don't see why you wouldn't want something like this. Now, there are other devices. Amazon's got one, and there's a bunch of these different ones. I don't know how well they work. I can't speak to them. But for what it does, the Ouya is a very good device. Controller works fine. There are alternatives to the controllers. So based on my experiences with it and what I use it for, I recommend it. But if you can find one cheap, yeah, pick one up. They're a great device. I really like the Ouya. And I think a lot of the people that watch my channel who do like older classic games, you might like it too. So that's it. This is AtariLeaf. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great day.